Hi everyone, how are we doing? Good, I hope. As you probably have guessed from the title and probably the thumbnail of this video, we are reacting to Philomena Cunk. What a beautiful name. If you're new here, hi, how's it going? My name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I live here in the UK. My channel is just everything British culture. Loads of people have been suggesting Philomena Cunk. Every time I say that, I feel like I am saying that wrong. So I thought we would start here. Best Philomena Cunk moments. Obviously, I've not seen this before. If this is no good, we'll find a different one. Hope you're doing well. Have a seat, get cozy, and here we go. What are we about to see? I don't know, but I hope it's good.
Who are you?
I'm Ian Borden. I'm a professor of architecture at University College London.
What is a building?
A building is anything that anyone has built.
So my shoes are a building. How many three wise men were there?
Who knows?
Oh.
And
I don't understand bread sauce.
It's a great way of making a really savoury sauce.
Bread and sauce are two completely different things, aren't they?
Well, they are, but you can grind the bread down and then cook it in milk to make a really good sauce.
It just looks like sort of cheese. When Henry died.
The sigh. I'll tell you what, I have a video on my channel where I made bread sauce. This probably years ago now, and it was actually really nice. And yeah, it does look questionable.
Edward became king, aged just 9 years old. Edward died aged 15, the youngest anyone had ever died of old age. When you teach your kids Shakespeare, do their heads grow physically bigger?
no.
I love how, from my understanding, these are real professionals. These are real individuals with some sort of specialty, and she just comes out with the most absurd questions. And to see the look on their face, priceless. These clips are so fast though. Let's do a little bit more and then maybe watch like more of a full interview so you get kind of the context. This is wild.
Isn't it, to realise we don't have nuclear weapons these days?
Well, it depends who you mean by we. The British have got nuclear weapons and have recently indeed decided to increase the number of warheads that they possess. I'm afraid that nuclear war and the threat of nuclear destruction remains very much with us.
All right, can we talk about something a bit more cheerful?
Anything you like.
Do you like ABBA?
I love ABBA.
Yeah. When a feminist looks in the mirror, do they see an equal woman or a better woman?
They quite often, like all of us, look for what they want to see and they look for what they hope to see.
You see yourself back to front, don't you, in a mirror? But not upside down. Why is that?
Well, hopefully, because that's the way that mirrors are designed.
How is a mirror? Sorry, you're not the mirrors expert, are you? And to add insult to...
Can we just get a round of applause for the woman who does this character? Hold that thought, actually. Diane Morgan. Shout out Diane Morgan. You're absolutely wonderful. Character first appeared in 2013. Wow. Obviously, she's done loads of other things, but I feel like this is probably the most recognizable. I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Maybe I'm totally wrong. And I usually am. Honestly, though, the commitment to the bit, I think, is incredible. And the fact that she's been doing this since 2013. Also, she doesn't look like she's aged at all. I know that's irrelevant, but honest to God, she looks ageless. Okay, how about this one? Philomena Cunk on art. I realize this is BBC. This is probably all gonna get anytime I react to anything even remotely close to the BBC, even if it's only like 6 seconds, they copyright claim it and they block it. And anyway, it doesn't matter. If you're seeing this, just know that Alanna editing this video was somehow successful. Let's talk about art for a bit.
I'm entering a cave, not by mistake or because I'm a wolf, but because I've been specifically asked to come here by the producers to look at cave art. Early cave artists started out painting whatever was close to hand, like their hands. But soon they began creating white-knuckle fight scenes like this. Humans versus cows 2D. To a caveman, this was the thrilling equivalent of Fast and Furious Part 7. Have any of the cave paintings been adapted into films? I suppose they couldn't get the rights anyway, though, could they?
Filmmaking obviously arose much, much later than the end of the cave paintings.
So there hasn't been like a cave wall that's been like, oh my God, that's an incredible story. We need to get Steven Spielberg to make this.
It would be hard to come up with a story that would last an hour and a half based on just one panel in a cave.
Some believe.
Is there any instances where an expert or an interviewee is not a good sport? Because I feel like if you are getting interviewed by Philomena Cunk, you should know who she is, unless maybe you're not British. So you should know who she is, and you should know what the vibe is going to be. And the vibe is going to be absurd, deadpan silliness. This is Cunk on food, one of my personal favorite topics.
Was there ever a plan to give out free crisps?
I don't think they've ever given out or thought about giving out free crisps. Although I quite like crisps.
I love crisps.
I don't think many people would argue that you can't have a decent life without free crisps.
I think I'd kill myself if I couldn't have crisps. It was an apparently
Me too.
irresistible spread, like Nutella. The Quran says, accumulating knowledge is a worthy act. So Islamic mega nerds created the first universities and libraries, conferring all the world's knowledge, which at that point could probably fit into one pamphlet, to be fair.
Oh my god.
The ancient Egyptians thought that onions were medicine, but they're not. They literally didn't know they're onions. And that's where we get the phrase from. Of course, today, we now know that onions are not a medicine. Onions are disgusting. Tudor feasts were huge and often included roast goose or swan or peacock, basically a big bird roasted whole. That might sound traumatic, but in the days before television, they didn't know big birds have a person inside. To find out more about Tudor eating habits, I spoke to food expert Jay Rayner. So what sort of things did Tudor people eat at Christmas? They ate things like peacock, didn't they?
We've seen Jay already.
What goes with peacock?
Unless that part got
What
cut
kind
out.
of gravy?
There is evidence that they ate, very exotic things, but only that would have been the very, very richest people.
I suppose the best thing about them as well is that tail, and that's not going to taste of anything, is it?
No, that's purely for display. Yeah.
A Tudor Christmas, then, they'd have peacock, like you say.
No, I think like you said.
The royals had peacock.
I don't know how much peacock was eaten in Tudor days, I'll be honest.
How did that affect their bowels, what comes out of their back holes?
I don't know. I suppose if they were eating too much, it would have caused certain bowel issues.
I suppose meat, lots of meats.
Lots of meat can
Compacted together.
compact, yes.
He's
Make
trying
sort of
so
big
hard.
stools.
It would have been uncomfortable, I imagine, but I'm only guessing.
Well, see, that would have been the first bit that I'd gone to if I was a food expert. The early farmers grew wheat and learned to bake bread. They also grew barley, peas and lentils, so they could have made a passable vegan burger to put inside the bread. But luckily, they didn't have to.
I have no idea how the interviewees maintain their composure having these sorts of seemingly ridiculous questions asked with such a straight face. Diane Morgan is probably one of the best comedians today. I absolutely love her. It's kind of a shame that, I would say we saw that guy as well. Oh, let's watch a little bit about a potato. She, I would say, is almost unknown in Canada. Maybe that's changed. I've never seen her in Canada. The US, I would assume to be kind of similar. The fact that this is very British sense of humor. This is very deadpan, very satirical. It makes sense here, works here. Maybe works less in other places, but that is a shame because it's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I feel like she's not really gone international, but maybe that's wrong. If you're non-British, hi, all 5 of you, do you know who Philomena Cunk is? You might know if you're into British culture and that's something that you seek out, but a regular non-British person. Anywho, I saw this bit. She's got a potato. I think I'd like to see that.
At first sight.
We still celebrate potatoes to this day by buying and eating them. It's amazing to think that Queen Elizabeth was the first British monarch to be impressed by a baked potato, and the last. What was the Soviet onion?
Well, I think you're labouring under a misapprehension, and you probably mean the Soviet Union.
No, it's onion. I saw it on a bit of paper earlier.
Well, that's probably been misspelt, or you can't read very well. But I think that you mean, in historical terms, the Soviet Union or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Oh, I don't want to be rude, but I think you're mansplaining a bit. Can we stick to the topic of the Soviet onion, please?
OK.
What exactly was it? If you don't know, it's OK to say. You know, I won't judge you.
Well, if you want to talk about sort of Russian Soviet vegetables, we can. I mean, it was a deeply agrarian country. And so there were lots of onions, lots of potatoes, lots of other things.
Did they have turnips?
Think so. Cheap, easy to grow, hardy, great in a stew.
So how come you know so much about vegetables? Have you got an allotment? Why can't we get...
How much more do you think we can watch before the BBC knocks at my front door? Let's just watch a scooch more. I'm so sorry if this is like quick cuts and things. I'm just deeply sorry. If you made it this far, God bless you. If this video never gets posted,
people were prudish back
time.
then, weren't they? If they saw his penis, they'd probably have a stroke, wouldn't they?
Probably. I don't think that would have made it onto the media.
Oh, God. That's not a joke. What's funny about that? If a policeman broke the law, would he be able to arrest himself?
I don't think so, no.
What he's saying might actually be stupid, but it's hard to tell because he says it with clever words.
We don't want pedagogic figures coming in and didactically shouting at us.
So the only people who can actually tell if he's stupid are clever themselves, and they think everyone's stupid compared to them anyway. Was Beethoven good at music?
Yeah, I mean, he's considered to be the best composer of Western classical music ever.
Beethoven wrote that song that goes da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. What do those lyrics mean?
Well...
When my friend Paul went to Thailand, he had a
oh my God, she looks so young there. I've never seen like this era.
A rules is basically a collection of laws. The first example being the Ten Commandments, which were left on a hill by God. Many of those laws, killing, gravity, and the one about not interfering with oxes, are still used today, even though God's dead. Phone companies say 5G is safe, but they can't know because 5G is totally unlike anything we've seen before, apart from 4G, and 3G, and 2G, and 1G, which I think was called WAP, probably to put us off the scent. Anyway, this year Epstein died in a freak necktie accident while one of his prison guards was blinking for too long. Anyway, now they're trying to impeach him, which I think is some sort of skin treatment to make him the right colour again. The last president who got impeached was Bill Clinton, who had to resign and was never seen or heard of again. But then Clinton's crimes were unforgivable, like doing hand and mouth stuff with a lady who wasn't his wife. I don't know what Trump's accused of, but I'd be amazed if he's ever done something as bad as that. Next time on...
Oh God. Oh man, I feel like we could be here for literally ever. I'm fully convinced this woman just spawned into existence a few months before her program started. So this is Moments of Wonder. It says episode 2, which makes me think that this is a show in and of itself, perhaps. Let's just watch a little, shall we?
1 in 20 people has been a victim of crime, which means that 19 out of 20 people are criminals. In the olden days, if someone did something wrong, there was nothing you could do except form a mob with your neighbours and hunt them down and kill them. But today, we've got one other option, thanks to Sir Robert Peel, who in 1829 discovered the police, here on a spot marked today by a ceremonial wind turbine. Police tried to stop crime, but couldn't exist without it. If there was no crime, what would they do? Except spend all day putting addresses on bikes with that hammer. If If no one's going to steal those bags, that's just decorating.
If there wasn't a police, we could do what we want, and that's great, but police wouldn't get to do the thing they liked, which is to be the police, and that would be against their human rights. Wow, this was posted 11 years ago by some random YouTube channel, so not even like the official channel. This is just somebody uploading this 11 years ago. I love it. Okay, I feel like I should probably stop there. This is just barely scratching the surface, if we can even say that. Like, just barely. If you have a favorite, maybe Philomena Cunk interview or episode or special, like I feel like there's just so much here and I don't even really know where to start. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to watch something else, how about this one? I reacted to banned British adverts. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!